Hi everybody. So as you can see by the title, you're thinking about quitting high school. If you are, watch this video first because I'm going to explain to you why I thought it was a good idea to quit high school, why I did quit high school, and why I regret quitting high school. In 2002, I entered high school and thought it was going to be great. Well, it was great for a little while, for the first year, and then I met this guy on the internet, and my parents did everything in their power to keep me in high school and not focus on this guy, but of course that didn't really work. And you know, in the end, they were absolutely right. Everything that they said about him, everything that they did, he was absolutely right. However, it was a long learning process from then until now. Basically, I attended, I think it was like a year and a half of high school altogether, when here in Canada it's usually 3 years. So you have your grade 10, 11, and 12. And basically, I did grade 10, and I didn't get all my credits in grade 10. So I was still in grade 10, but I had some grade 11 courses, and it was just a big mix-up. Anyways, so 2004, I think, was the official year that I had quit. I didn't go back. I had quit and went back once, and pretty much had to fight my way back in with my parents' help. And alright, so basically I had quit and had plans to move to the United States, and that eventually did happen. However, the main reason why I quit high school in the first place was because I realized I could get a full-time job and be paid for my time instead of sitting in a classroom at a desk where you don't get paid. So I found a full-time job. Well, I had a part-time job at the time, and they offered me full-time. And at recess, I would call this job, and it was a cashier at a grocery store. And I would call the job and say, okay, did anybody call in sick? Can I come in? I'll come in. So I would skip school, and I would go and work instead. And I thought that was a great idea. And it was at the time, because I was getting all this money, and I could shop, I could buy whatever I wanted, I could, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, I eventually continued working just at minimum wage jobs. You know, that's the only thing I could get, and at this point in my life, that's all I can still get. And anyways, in 2011, I wrote my GED, and that's a general education diploma, and that was only last year. And so that's a lot of time in between. And in that time in between, I moved to the United States. I married this guy that my parents told me not to marry, but I did, and that was a huge mistake. Huge. Because you're going to another country, you have no education behind you, you're completely dependent on somebody else. And especially when you're not a citizen of that country, you have to find a way to make your own money. And in the United States, nobody knows you. It's way too easy to do the wrong things for money. And I'm not saying that personally I've done those things. I've done a lot of things that I probably do regret, or at least I tried to do those things. Not going to go into detail on what those were, but it's way too easy to get caught up in a job that is degrading, and you're not benefiting really, because you're still in the same position you were in before, you know. Okay, so I wrote my GED when I got back to the island where I live. And this was, you know, a long time since I studied, since I read anything, since I did math, since, so I got really bad marks, but I did pass. And here is what I got. I don't know if you could read that or not, but they're not great. A 450 in math is pass, and I got a 450. So this is really bad, really bad. And I braced myself, and I went into my old high school, the one that I had quit, to get my transcripts. You're supposed to have around between 22 and 25 to graduate from grade 12. That's how many credits you're supposed to have altogether. I have 6. So that's a lot of school that I missed and didn't pass. And that's terrible, because now I'm at the point where I want to go to university and I might not be able to get accepted, but I have a little bit of a better chance because I'm over 22, which I think considers you to be a mature student. But still, I might still have to go to a college course and upgrade my English so it's a grade 12 academic, because right now all my marks are standing at a general, which the GED test that I wrote kind of qualified me for. So basically, it's not a good idea to do this when you're as old as I am. I'm 24 now, and I'll be 25 this year, and I may or may not be entering my first year of university in September. I have a full-time job now, and I work about 93.5 hours every 2 weeks, and that might give me $800 every 2 weeks. And it might seem like a lot in retrospect, like $1,600 a month, but $750 come out for my rent. And I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's not all that great. I have 4 pets. They're expensive to keep. They have vet bills. I just spent $150 on groceries, and it all leaves me with nothing. And if I want to buy something like my laptop's financed. I pay $50 every 2 weeks to finance my laptop, because I could never go out and spend, $1,000, because I can never have $1,000 in my bank account at one time to go out and buy the laptop, because I need to make more per hour in less time. So, I need to make over $10 an hour in order to catch up. And with my education, I cannot do that. So basically, even the smartest person, a rocket scientist, an astronaut, could not tell me not to quit school when I did, because I was so headstrong to do it. And I just hope from my experiences, and it's a lot harder to do it now than it would have been when I was younger, if I had only listened to the people that told me not to do it. And basically, I can't tell you not to quit, because you're going to quit regardless if you're going to. It is possible to catch up in the future. You could do what I did. You could go, write your general education test, and it's really not hard. But the longer you're out of school, the harder it becomes, and the lower your marks get, which makes it harder to get into university or college. And you might think you know what you want to do when you're younger, but chances are that's going to change when you realize how hard life really is, and how hard it is to keep up with everybody else. And you don't want to live in a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment for the rest of your life. If you do, then that's great. But also, in your future relationships, somebody who has a degree, somebody who has, a lot of money, isn't going to want to be with a high school dropout. They're not going to want to be a sole breadwinner. They're going to want a partner, and they're going to want, somebody who can contribute to the household. They don't want somebody riding off of them. And that's eventually what you're going to be if you don't do something now. And I really hope you do. And that's the end of my rant. If you have any questions about the whole thing, then just let me know. I know this video is kind of all over the place. I'm not a very good public speaker. However, listen to me. If you hear weird noises, I got animals sleeping all over the place. And they eat food like teenagers. I might as well have 4 13-year-olds living here. Anyhow, have a good day, and please give it a lot of thought before you make any decisions about your future, because although it's never too late, it is a lot harder than high school. Life is harder than high school. I didn't think it would be, but it really is. So have a great day, and check it out.